Well, prepare yourself, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Talking to the Movies. This is Chris Fagan, and I'm a little pissed off because I've been trying to get this thing working and fixed for the longest. I don't know. I'm just struggle streaming. My wife gave up on me a while ago. She's just too tired. We got a lot of work to do in the morning. Too many things to do in the morning. But when I finally figured out the glitch and the problem, she was like, "Oh, it's too late, Mom. No, I'll be on the show next week." So, without further ado, I'm just gonna reconfirm real quick, just make sure that we're all. We got a lot of work. Just make sure we're. Yeah. All right. So you guys can see. You can see on the. You can see it on the short version of it if you're watching the vertical. Or was it horizontal vertical version of it? You see that empty chair right there? That's where she was. She was right there. She was like, "Nope, I'm out. Can't do it. I gotta go." So it's fine. But I wanted to at least get something out and up and going because it's been a minute and I've been trying to get this new stuff going. But as it tends to do, like I said, we struggle streaming sometimes. So let me zoom in real quick. Let me see if I can get that going. At the very least, try to get in a little closer with you guys. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So, guys, as we saw on the San Diego Comic-Con updates and everything that came out of it, a couple of surprises that happened, and I've been waiting to talk about it on this channel. So the first thing that came up was that David Johnson was announced as the new Black Panther. He will not be a variant of T'Challa. He will be the older version of T'Challa Jr. So we get T'Challa. They did the art of recasting without recasting. So any decision that they decided to make as far as recasting, what I agreed with a lot of you guys out there that are way smarter than me, was that the best thing to do would be to recast. I do not join on that bandwagon of, now that Paul Walker is passed and now that Chadwick is passed, everything should shut down. That's just not like that. Life doesn't work like that. So why does that even make sense? For years, you would just recast and you keep moving on. But this is a new thing with this generation where it's like everything has to stop. And then as some time and distance came upon it, the young brother from Snowfall was fan cast heavily. And people assumed, yes, he was going to be the new Black Panther. He was a lock-in. And I had to agree with one TikToker that I saw talk about it. It's just, he was considered heavily and was fantasy cast a lot because of this notion, especially in America, that we have of what actors have to or characters have to look like. If the actor checks a certain amount of boxes with like stereotypical beauty or gender norms and things like that, like if he's tall, dark, and handsome, kind of a dude, rugged, or especially if he could pull it off physically and talent-wise, close to what we got from the original, being Chadwick. They're like, that's the guy. It has to be him. It has to be him. Then people start building up in their heads. It has to be him. It can't be nobody else but him. He's the only one that can do it. And that becomes the problem, because once you get something that you didn't expect or hope for, then that's when the attacks happen. Now it's Marvel made a bad choice with David Johnson and everything. It doesn't even matter now, all the movies that he's done recently so far in his career, where people are like, man, that dude did a good job. First thing I said to myself when I saw that he was the one that was picked, I was like, brother from Alien Romulus? Well, he won everybody over as a first black, I guess, android or whatever, the synthetic, and Aliens. So he did a great job in Romulus. So I'm like, okay. And then I saw someone else make a very, maybe that same TikTok. I'm just sorry, I can't remember his name. Made a similar point where he said, this actor looks a lot and kind of could favor or pass for not T'Challa, his father, but his grandfather, the actor that plays his grandfather. And I'm like looking at the facial features. I'm like, yeah, he does. You could say that Chadwick favored his mama. His sister, they most closely favored his mama. But you could also say that, he looked a little bit like his daddy, kind of a thing. But he favored his mama a lot. But you can say that the T'Challa Jr. favors his grandfather. So I mean, that's just if you want to get like crazy about it. But as we tend to do, all this nonsense about they ruined it. They ruined it. They had to pick the person that they fantasized for, right? Like you didn't care nothing about no Snowfall until people started getting comfortable with it. You didn't even want anybody to recast T'Challa. Half of y'all. But the second you found a brother that could check some boxes for you, then like it has to be him. It can only be him. Like, no. I mean, that's so. And then you hear that Ryan Coogler said that when he auditioned, it was done. Like that's the guy. Like the way Chadwick crushed it, he did it similarly. So why do we keep underestimating and day trading when it comes to these people's career? Same things right now is happening to Christopher Nolan. Dark Knight, the biopic that he did with World War II, Memento, and all these things, gem after gem after gem. The second, Elliot Page gets cast, and it was, no, Nolan's lost it. And look, crushing it in the box office. It's like y'all just can't help it. Everybody keeps jumping on these bandwagons to just hate on anything to get some views and some clicks, because all you can do is just cry and complain. You can't just take the movie for what it is. I'm never gonna watch I'm gonna subscribe to Disney Plus. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Everybody, I'm just gonna say it like this. All y'all guys that's out there that needs to say that stuff online, y'all ain't doing none of that. I'm gonna subscribe to Disney Plus. You probably can't afford it, or you're just lying, because these same people seem to still be caught up to everything. Well, really, acting like we're so woke, right? But you watch every episode. All right, whatever. But I feel like David Johnson is a good pick. Why? Because Ryan Coogler knows what he's doing. Now, and I'm going to give it a chance. And guys, you need to let's do the opposite of what the idiots and what if you're an idiot yourself, what you do, and just trust in the process, because obviously Coogler knows what he's doing, and that chemistry is more important than your fantasy. But let's get that out of the way. Now let's get into the scandals of it. Now, the reason why Idris wasn't picked could be because of the rumor that the young lady, I don't know her name, that apparently that Michael B. Jordan was like, I don't know if he was engaged to or head over heels in love with. Second they broke up, I don't know why they broke up. I don't even know this girl's name. But apparently Idris started dating her immediately. So you're gonna just straight up just pick up what was dropped off and be like, this is mine now, and and being all braggadocious on social media. And then you want to work with this man on set? Now, this is not something that's unfamiliar in business and in Hollywood, but if this is true and Idris has not squashed that beef, if there is a beef or anything, whatever that is that's going on, if that hasn't been settled, it doesn't matter if Idris is or was or whatever, or considered or straight up a better actor than Michael B. Jordan and Chadwick combined. It will not matter. because just because he crushed it in that one scene in Snowfall, body, doesn't mean that I'm going to piss off my homeboy, Michael B. Jordan, the guy who has been with me since day one, consistently and crushing it. They got that dynamic duo thing going on, and Oscars coming in. I don't care who you are. I don't care how good of an actor you are or how well Snowfall went. It's going to be the first question. This just the rumors part of it. Did y'all squash that beef? All Michael B. Jordan has to say is hell no. That's all you got to say. He's not going to, I don't even need him to audition. Or if we have to, just because we need just in fairness, all right, go ahead and audition. And I'll look, and maybe he crushed it. Maybe he did audition. Maybe he crushed it. And it was never going to matter. And maybe he knew it wasn't going to matter. But maybe he thought that if he gave the best performance, and let's say for a second of argument, he did audition and he did crush it. And he's a 10 times better actor than Michael B. Jordan. It won't matter. Because Ryan is not going to ruin established relationships for some messy stuff like that. It's called disassociation. So the question is, oh man, well, oh dude, you crushed it. But they're gonna tell you, we love your performance, we appreciate you, we're going another way. And maybe his agent got wind of it and probably told him the truth, because I told you to try to squash that, whatever that difference is that with Michael B. Jordan. He's like, I'm not even dating her no more. Does not matter. Did you handle it with the man? And in the perfect world, it shouldn't matter. But it depends on what you did. Like I said, I don't know what he did. Maybe he bragged a little too much about it. Hey, she mine now. But everything is not an Usher and old school R. Kelly video. This ain't Brandy and Monica. You know what I'm saying? The girl is mine kind of. This ain't a game. You playing with people's emotions and stuff. So it's like, I'm not gonna work with you. You're not coming on my set. We got Oscars over here. Good luck. Fine. UPS is hiring. I don't know. Call Tyler Perry. I don't. Does not matter. I don't care. Michael's like, I've been in 2 Black Panther movies. I'm probably gonna be resurrected after Secret Wars, and I'll probably be, I'll be back in MCU real quick. Find another MCU movie. You ain't coming over here. Bishop, X-Men. I heard X-Men. Don't be mad. X-Men, they hiring. Maybe you could be an X-Men. Matter of fact, call James Gunn. That's what they gonna say, and it's gonna be legit. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I just feel like it's kind of, if it's true, it sucks for him. I mean, good luck to him. But David Johnson, I think, is proven that he can crush it, and I feel like he will. Now, let's see. Moving on, what's the next topic we can get into real quick? Right here. Let's see what we can do here. If I can fix what this is. Can I fix it? Will it work? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Probably not. Nope. Nah, screw that little third. It ain't gonna happen. You got the side thing going on. Uh-oh. Him, bodies. All right. Next topic. So, also what happened in San Diego Comic-Con was, everybody keeps saying that Ryan Reynolds dressing up as Deadpool in the gray suit and interrupting the MCU panel was a desperate gimmick to try to strong arm his way into Doomsday and or Secret Wars without ever having a guarantee that he will be in there. I disagree. I think no matter what's going on with Ryan Gosling, he goes out there, he dresses up, he gets it, he does what he does best. He takes it to the streets. He goes with the fans, and he builds up morale. And we all know it's a PR stunt. It's if he's not in those movies and he's trying to push his way in just the way he did when he released the footage for Deadpool and forced Fox's hand to take a chance on Deadpool, and it was a huge success. Maybe he feels like this is a way to get in, at least the Secret Wars. But I honestly think, despite what's going on with uh, his his I don't know, his image right now and what's going on with his wife and all this stuff, it isn't to the level to where other people have been let go. Kang, for example, right? Um, Yet, at least so far, because that's mostly his wife, guilty by association, I guess. And let's not even say that that's even what's going on. Maybe it is what's going on, but maybe it is. I believe Kevin Feige ain't worried about that. And here's what I think. I think he is in these movies. He might not be in Doomsday. He's going to be at the very least in Secret Wars, or if not in the movie, a mid-credit or something scene, something. Because the opportunity to have him interact with Spider-Man is right there on the table. All these people that he is known for, and he's embedded deeply within the X-Men universe, resetting the table and stuff. Maybe Deadpool will eventually get recast, like we're about to get all these new X-Men. Maybe it's time for that. But he's young enough and still in the game enough to justify continuing on. I think he's in these movies. So everybody's saying that he crashed Hall H because this is a desperate attempt to, get something going because he's not in these movies. If he's not in these movies, that decision has been made, and there ain't nothing that Ryan Reynolds is going to do to change Kevin Feige's mind, because these movies would already have already been laid out and written. And if they only plan on doing more things with Deadpool for, in the future after, outside of Avengers, because he just doesn't really fit, then that just makes sense because Kevin Feige said so. You ain't going to change his mind like that unless you can come up with a reason. And then on top of that, it's the Russo brothers that's really going to make that call. But I think the call has been made. I think he's in the movie. So all this, Blake Lively did it again, ruining this guy's career now. These guys have, for better or for worse, Ryan Reynolds has already made his stake, planted his flag in Hollywood power, and it would take. I think it's going to take. It's a blow to his career, and all the things I can complain. I love Ryan Reynolds as an actor and a comedian and his career and whatnot. But on the personal stuff that he's known for, I'm disappointed too. But I don't speak for people like Kevin Feige and whatnot. I honestly don't think it's to that level. Kang, he gets into a situation with his then girlfriend, and please, innocent. When the question was asked, did you hurt this girl? He says, no, I'm innocent of that. And then on that technicality of, well, when you physically placed her into that cab trying to get away from her, she hurt herself. So technically you did hurt her. And that's what landed him to, get booted out of the MCU and mess his whole career up. Is that fair? I don't know. But with all these things, plantations and stuff, with the wedding stuff with Ryan, come on. Is it fair? When the original War Machine Rhodey was recast, was that fair? You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see. Ed Norton, was that fair? Maybe. So, time will tell. But I think he's in the movie. Let me know what you guys think. I think he's in the movie. So, let me see. Going on live chat, anything? All right. So, the last big news that came out of San Diego Comic Con was Ryan Gosling, being picked as Ghost Rider, which is outstanding. I don't know why people wanted Keanu Reeves. I think I would have liked it either way it goes. But if you were going to go with Keanu Reeves, you might as well have gone with the actor who played Ghost Rider in the Agents of Shield, because that dude was outstanding too. Going with Ryan Gosling, obviously, because he's in the Disney family because he's doing a Star Wars movie, and it's a great pull because Ryan Gosling is shifting himself as well. Let's talk about Hollywood powers again. He's going into that space much strong in a stronger position. That space that Ryan Reynolds is took so long to achieve, and he's getting it. And Gosling is going. He's gonna take that spot. Where, as far as like popularity rise, power in Hollywood and things like that, that's kind of an image thing. Where Ryan Reynolds is and or trying to achieve, or whatever that goal is that he's trying to achieve, Gosling is going to get it if he hasn't at this point surpassed him. Because doesn't Ryan Gosling already have an Oscar? Gosling is going to be that stand-in replacement. He's not as quick as Reynolds is, but he's still funny. I could even see Gosling as Deadpool. But because if you watch The Big Short, and that I'm jacked to the tits, come on, man. He could. So Gosling is a good pick to fill that void. He's up there like as far as likability and whatnot, like Paul Rudd and whatnot, and Donnie Jr. Ryan Gosling is a safe pick. I mean, and after what he just did with his last movie, where he saved the world with Rocky, what's that movie called? I forgot. Sorry, remind me. I love that movie, but Project Hail Mary. Come on, man. He's a safe pick. Ryan Gosling is a good pick, so I'm surprised. I'm happy for him. I'm glad that they went that way. It tells me that they're definitely going to. I assumed that they were going to go the route of the Ghost Rider in the car, like they did the Agents of Shield. This definitely tells me that they're going motorcycle. They're going to keep him on that motorcycle. Right? We've seen Ryan Gosling as a wheelman before. He's on that. He's going to be on that motorcycle. So I can't wait to see it. I hope they find a way. Well, they don't need to. Agents of Shield, they're not. Never mind. They're not going to do it. They're not going to associate with Agents of Shield. But that would be kind of cool. I would like it. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Ryan Gosling? That's the question. Do you think Ryan Gosling will be on a motorcycle or in a car? And or both? What do you prefer? Let me know in the comments, and we'll talk about that. Now, I heard on Facebook that there is a new documentary in the works. There is a Black Geek for Black fandom. Probably is in the same vein of, and I don't know if the producer is the same producers of DreamCon and whatnot, but there is a documentary in the works, probably going to Netflix, for Black geek culture. Let me read about this. This is from Facebook. Let me pull it up real quick. Geek said, a Milwaukee-based media collective dedicated to Black nerd culture has officially partnered with Martian Blueberry to bring the Black Geek documentary to life. The project, announced during DreamCon 2026, is described as a love letter to blurred culture, Black nerd culture, exploring Black fandom across anime, comics, gaming, film, cosplay, and pop culture, just like talking through the media. The documentary aims to honor the pioneers who built this community, celebrate the creators carrying it forward, and preserve the legacy of Black geek culture for future generations. Honestly, geek culture is at its best when more voices get to tell their own stories. Why is this important? Why? Because I love hearing people say everything is wrong. No, it's important, and because why isn't this? I mean, as many documentaries as you see on anime conventions, and 9 times out of 10, when photo galleries and shorts of news content about fandom, you get a splash of color here and there and the other. and you show the community as a whole. If it's anime, it's it'll be mostly focused on the Asian community, and then the rest of the people who enjoy that type of that fandom. But on average, you mostly will see, you know, the same people. If it's they try to claim it's mostly inclusive, but the 9 times out of 10, it just feels like they're really only focused on one demographic. Now, ever since DreamCon became its thing and how popular that became, um, and I heard that they've had their problems. I unfortunately wasn't able. I was supposed to go this year. I missed my opportunity. Tickets are tight and hard to get, but a documentary focused on what the Black community has done in this in this space, the blurred culture, because of years of going through. What was it? You can't dress up like that character. Superman isn't black. That character isn't black. Blah, 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 blah. And if we can't do blackface, you can't dress up like Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, get the what? It's it was annoying, and it was getting too ridiculous. And so that's why things like DreamCon was invented. The second it starts making money, then it was like, why can't you clean? Just like food, I want to buy it too. I want those shoes. I want those. Give me that shirt. I want it. It's mine. Like at first it was like, get out of my space. This is mine. But now it's like, that's popular. I like it now. It's hip. I want it. It's mine. It's like so. But all the documentaries that I'm out there seeing, I'm happy that there's a documentary about blurs out there. What's the old dude's name that has the hat with the horns and whatnot? I hope he's hosting it. Get him to host it, or do the voiceovers. Have him standing up there like this. It's come to my attention that these people are treating. I think they're racist. He would crush a documentary. I would love to see that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys think. The Black geek culture getting its own biopic. Not biopic. Documentary. Probably coming to Netflix. Let's see. Avengers Doomsday set used 80% practical instead of green screen like recent MCU movies. Learn something new. Cool. Good. By time. Punk ass. All right. The reason why I've been trying to hurry and get this redesign, this reset going on with the studio and whatnot, this side of the studio is going to be where we do these talking to the movie conversations. It's going to be mostly face to face with my co-chair or the host, my wife. As you can see, she's not there right now. No loyalty in this damn marriage, ain't that? She's like, I'm tired. All right, fine. Okay, I remember that. Okay. Talking about I've been working all day and I had to cook dinner, but I actually cooked dinner today. Burger King. Paid almost $60. Feeding the family. So you couldn't stay up past midnight because I was struggle streaming? All right. I remember that. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. We here, baby. We struggle streaming. But one of the things that I've been wanting to talk about was I was trying to get a show going because when I saw the Michael movie, I reviewed it. I loved it. When I was so afraid, wondering if that movie was actually going to hit $1 billion. And when it finally did, I was so happy. I'm like, finally, let me talk about this because this is amazing. That this is it's like 3 situations there. You got the highest grossing biopic based on a musician. Because I think Bohemian Rhapsody was holding that title, Queen. Like, that almost made $1 billion back in 2018. If anybody can surpass it, should be Michael. And he did. Surpassed that. Then it was struggling to even cross a bit. Oh man, and I'm very good at crushing these numbers. The ever declining 50% drop every week, nationally and worldwide. I'm really good at those numbers, box office numbers, as you know on this channel. But I was getting nervous. It was like 900 like 990 million 91. No, something like that. 900. Was it 991 million? 992, 995. Oh, we're gonna go to. Oh, it's released on the home the theater at home now. Now you can pay $20 and watch Michael all day. Like, dang. My dumb ass even knew the answer, and I still asked Alexa. I was like, does those home views count for the box office? No. Why you even ask me that stupid question, Chris? I'm like, I gotta reset my Alexa because she be talking shit. But then it finally hit. Bam! It was like before it actually hit on Box Office Mojo, where everybody's freaking out. It was all going off social media. And they're like, Michael Jackson finally, the Michael movie hit $1 billion, hit $1 billion, hit $1 billion. I'm like, cool. Like, damn. I refreshed my Michael Jackson Box Office Mojo screen. Bam! 1 billion. It hit billion. 1 billion, some 100,000, right? And then when I was preparing the show to talk about that, because there's some significance in that when hitting $1 billion, I think there's 3 talking points on that. Then a couple of days later, you refresh my Box Office Mojo, and then it went. When the actuals come out on Monday, it went back under $1 billion. I'm like, what the? And I was researching it, and they had the nerve to say, due to recalculations because of currency exchange, between countries. I'm like, get the out of here, man. I did that, man. It made 10 million, an extra 10 million nationally, locally, and worldwide last week. That means at the very least it should make another 5 million, and you were already past 995 million. So another 5 million should boom hit you over $1 billion, which it did. And then 2 days later, they took it back away after everybody announced it was across $1 billion. Then Box Office Mojo was struggling trying to keep that $1 billion away from Michael for some weird reason. I have never seen that happen before for another movie. They called it, the numbers crunched, the math was there. It made it like I said, it reduces between 50 to 60% every week in a reduction. And it went 900, it made 10 billion collectively the week before. And then it was 5 million away, which by the math, another 50% means the very next week it was going to hit $1 billion. It did hit $1 billion, and then 2 days later they took it back. But everybody was still calling it. And I was like, okay, that's weird. But even though they took it back, it was still within a couple $100,000 or $1 million, which means another 50% would have been another 2.5 million. So it was like, why did you do that? And it wasn't even about the actuals. No, we predicted it was going to go over $1 billion, but we didn't. When the actuals came in on Monday, it was actually less than that. They didn't even say that. It said the money came in, but because the dollar is now weaker compared to the other country against the yen and this and that and the other, so we had to pull it back under $1 billion. Like, what? I've never seen that happen for any other movie. So I feel like they were purposely trying to do that to Michael. But very next week, all right, okay. The Michael made $1 billion. Yeah, he got that. And they gave it to him. Fine. Okay. I was really miffed at box office, as you can tell, right? But the thing that stands out about that is I knew it. I was like, I knew the answer before I even asked. I'm like, this is the very first time that a person starring in his own movie, being the star of the movie, in his acting debut. Because I believe it is his acting debut. I believe this was his very first movie. I don't know if he did any independence. I don't know if he did anything before that. I've heard him speak before. He's on stage with his father. He sung a song. I don't think he's acted in anything. This is what he was focused on. He auditioned, and they almost gave it to Bruno Mars. And he got the role first time out. He earns it. And it hits $1 billion. Now, everybody out there that's saying, give this man the Oscar, slow down. There are still, Leonardo's still out there. Hell, Tom Holland could probably give the performance of his lifetime in this upcoming Spider-Man movie. Slow down. Jennifer Hudson, I think, didn't she get the Oscar on her film debut? But with the powers that be that are out there that are still trying to sully his legacy and Michael's name, there, I you might as well be giving Michael. Has Michael ever got an Oscar for his music? Interesting question. You might as well be giving Michael because you're technically giving a nomination to a you're technically giving it to a Jackson. If anybody was going to get an Oscar first for acting, would have been Janet before anybody else in that family. But for it to be Jafar, a nephew, ooh, that's interesting. The fact that he's the first actor in Hollywood history to hit $1 billion. And I'll, to be fair, it's Michael's name, it's Michael's music, it's this generation that's pushing it. That's the real reason why that movie, and because the movie was well done and directed, but it was a celebration. That's why that movie made $1 billion, not specifically because of Jafar, but being that it was his debut, first time in history it's ever. There is that's something. I'd rather have an Oscar, but to say I hit $1 billion on my first try, none of y'all fools can say that. Even if y'all say that I'm not even a good actor, you ain't ever made $1 billion in your movie. And he can say that to a lot of actors, a lot of veterans. He can say that to a lot of veterans. Y'all ain't never made $1 billion. I don't know why I don't know why y'all feel like it's so difficult. I did it on my first time out. Surprise. Yeah. That's something to brag about. And I feel like that is funny. And it's probably the reason why he's going to get so much hate. So if he's pursuing an acting career, he's doing a good job in shedding himself from the shadow of his uncle, because Michael's shadow, his legacy is large. Large. In fact, that this was your first movie and it was linked to your uncle's name, it's going to be hard to shed that. Janet did it, but she did it subtly. She did it slowly. Good times, and then poetic justice. And then how you gonna let a man bend you over and then call yourself a people? Ain't nobody bending me. So you doing the bending. You know what I'm saying? But Jafar has a chance. If I hope he gets other projects. I hope we can see more of him and maybe comedy. Maybe he's already crushed it with a drama role. So maybe comedy. You know what I'm saying? I don't see action. Next Black Panther. I don't know. What do you think? But the fact that he crushed it and got $1 billion, grossed $1 billion. I mean, that's a brag right there. I don't think it's ever going to be done. I don't think it's going to be done. To be the star. I mean, well, technically, yeah. I mean, if it's a Marvel movie or whatever, it's like your acting debut. He's never acted in anything. And he's in a Marvel. If it's anything, it'll be a superhero movie. It will not be any other genre. It won't be any other genre. It will have to be a superhero movie. It won't be a biopic. And that leads me to the next point. The highest grossing biopic of all time. He's already surpassed Oppenheimer and Bohemian Rhapsody. Even a biopic about Jesus didn't make $1 billion. And people consider Michael the second best thing until this my generation's Jesus, right? You know what I'm saying? Like a voice blessed by God. And even professional vocalists were like, when he sang, especially as a child, there were things happening with his voice ability that cannot be. It's hard to replicate, even with other phenomenal singers. There was something about his range that it was unearthed. And to this day, it's hard to find anybody who can replicate it, even if they can sound just like him. But there will never be another biopic to And it's still making money. It's never going to be replicated. There's no other true story. There would have to be Jesus Christ or something like that. It would have to be. It would have to be another type of passion of the Christ. Like the passion, I don't know. And with today's the political climate and the way things are nowadays, I don't even think that movie can make $1 billion. Maybe Christopher Nolan directed it. But biopic about a musician. There is no other musician. Madonna asking for a bigger budget because she feels like her life is so great. Like you ain't gonna that. I know old girl from the Ozark that was about that just recently played the female Silver Surfer was so upset at Madonna for messing that deal up. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Madonna. If you don't remember Madonna had a biopic about was in the works. Supposed to come out around the same time or after or before Michael's movie and all that. She's the reason why it's not coming out. She asked for more money for the movie to be produced. My life is so great and big. My story, I need $300 million to make my movie. Studio said you must be out your damn mind. Michael just made $1 billion. You think anybody cares about Material Girl? Michael's movie made $1 billion because this generation has resurrected him. Thriller has been resurrected. And before the resurrection, it was already the greatest album of all time. You ain't gonna vogue your way and getting my money back. I am not giving you $300 million. She's like, give me $300 million. You gotta get the fuck out of my office. So the deal's dead. The movie's not coming out. Production is stopped. Get out of my office, Madonna. Why are you wearing cornrows? Get out. Go. And that's just the way it is. It's done. I was looking forward to that movie too, man. Only because of the actress, though, that was playing her. What's that old girl from Ozark? Not because I'm a Madonna fan. My favorite Madonna song is surprise. It was on one of her reinventions of "Tell Me Love Isn't True." It's just something that we do. That's not even one of her biggest songs, and that's my favorite. And I'm an '80s baby. Weirdo. So the only thing we're gonna see with Madonna on screen is that Weird Al Yankovic fake biopic movie. Oh, on Roku. I think Madonna thought that she was big stuff because she did big movies in the '90s, and she like trying to relive like that. Nobody remembers that. Nobody saw Dick Tracy. Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. Great performance. I didn't watch it. I heard it was great. $300 million. Anyway, all right, let me move on. This ain't even on the fucking wall. All right. So, T3 Media Studios has been invited to Fan Expo Dallas. We've gone, I think the past 2 years. I think we've gone twice. I think we've gone twice. Maybe twice. Yes, twice. This will be our third time. When we got that convention bug, we hit the ground running. Of course, the Ruby Rod cosplay, and I want to talk about the anniversary in a second. But we are going to submit our bid to try to get interviews with the celebrity guests. So we were told, okay, so I want to give them the choice though. I'm going to give them my wish list. I'm going to lay it out right here. And then I'm going to ask Fan Expo Dallas if they can ask that celebrity on my wish list if an interview is possible, if they like my outlet, blah, 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 blah. Do you want to be interviewed by Chris Fagan and Joy Fagan, representing T3 Media Studios, talking to the medias, in the vein of Talking to the Movies podcast, blah, blah, blah. Or do you want to be interviewed by Ruby Ride? Because I can be in costume and I can do the whole interview in costume. And I'll give each one the choice. So the ones that say yes, Ruby Ride, I'll do it. I'll even go in and out of costume if I have to. I don't care. Shoot. So that's what I want to talk. I want to pull up real quick my. Let me see my list. Let me see what I got here. Let me turn the volume down because I know it's going to be loud. My bad. Breakfast. We go. What? Cat and eggs. That's okay. That's a weird. Anyway, let's see. Nothing there. Nothing there. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to go back and find the page that I was on. Fan Expo Dallas. Damn it, I had it. Let me pull it up again. Fan Expo Dallas. There we go. Celebrity list. All right. I know, and I didn't have time to put it up on the graphics board, but I'll do it in post. So my official wish list. This is me. This is for me. I can't speak for my wife, but I'm gonna say Nick Cage. Yes. Uh, Elijah Wood. Yes. Carl Urban. Yes. Kiefer Sutherland. Yes. Sean Austin for the Lord of the Rings. Yes. Who else? Who else? Who else? Let me view the full list here. I said Kiefer Sutherland. Sam Raimi. Hell yes. Alec Baldwin. Yes, I would love that interview. Dominique Mulligan from the Lord of the Rings. Billy Board from the Lord of the Rings. Yes, and yes. John Rhys Davies. Yes, I want that. That's the Lord of the Rings. Everybody from the Lord of the Rings, I would love to interview. Daphne King. Hell yes. X-23 and the Acolyte. Hell yes. Dolph Lundgren. Yes, I'm putting him on the list. Danny Glover. Yes, putting him on the list. Let's see. Who else? Who else? No, because I didn't watch it. The Boys cast. Aaron Moriarty, Karen Fukuhara, especially Tomer Capone, because we met him at another event, and I was in costume, and he loved the Ruby Rod. So he is. That's the only option. Tomer, the only in a way I will do an interview with you is in character, because it must pop, pop, pop. That's the only reason. Because I'll put the video up later in post. Look at the picture of us in the post. This was all his idea. Let's do what do you call Magnum from what's that Adam Sandler movie? You know, the Pose. Last Asano, yes. Valerie Curry, yes. All the boys cast, yes. Cameron Crovetti and Colby Menifee from the book. I would love an interview because I've seen her on social media. She seems so nice, and I would love John Nobles because I loved Fringe. That's a definite yes. My wife would probably want Lou Diamond Phillips, and that's a definite yes. Why? Because The Big Hit is the greatest movie of all time, baby. And that's the kind of interview that I would do with him. We would be talking about The Big Hit, because one of the greatest advice that a grown man could ever give another man is that straight jacket saves you that mad cream. So yes, that's a definite yes. Mike Coulter, Mr. Luke Cage, no. Priest, man, from Evil. Now, Denise Richards. Now the whole cast, I would say the whole cast of Starship Troopers, I would love to interview them. Denise Richards, Michael Ironside, and Casper Van Dien, especially Dina Myers, because of Saw, and Jack Busey. Okay, as long as you're cool, like I don't know if you okay, I'm tripping like your dad. My wife, in any of the Twilight cast, my wife is going to say Callan Lutz, and we've already met Peter Finicelli. I got his picture up on the wall up there. The Lost Boys cast, like I said, Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patrick. I would, meeting them because that horror movie was crazy. That's a yes for me. I'm putting him on the list. Richard Tyson, the villain from Kindergarten Cop, but 3 o'clock high. Who remembers 3 o'clock high? You're never gonna forget this happened. If you know that, if you know, you know. Awesome scene. Moving on. They have a lot of big names. The cast of Goonies, obviously, Martha Plimpton and Carrie Green. I would love that interview. Uh, let's see. Uh, what else? Who else? And Joe Pantalone, and Robert Levy from the Goonies and the Matrix. I mean, come on, that's got to. Um, and yeah, there it is. That's my list. That is my list for interviews. Now the question is, in character as Ruby Rod or regular regular Chris? Let me know. Let's figure it out. I'm gonna send. So tomorrow I will send the word up to him. I will give them my wish list, and let's see what they say. Hopefully, and the Fan Expo Dallas is coming to the convention at the K Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center, September 11th to the 13th, 2026. So if you're going to be there, holler at us. Talking to the medias will be on display, representing the studio here, and we will be putting out for that footage. It will be on the other channel. I've disassociated the podcast that we do with movies to be on this channel, and what this channel started with, it started with movies. It's going to end with movies. So me introducing all those other things, like covering trending topics and stuff like that, was hurting more than it was helping. So this channel is going back to strictly being focused only on movies. But T3 Media Studio as a whole is a 3 branch. There is talking to the movies, there is talking to the medias, and that is a separate channel now. Talking through the medias, youtube.com/at T3 Media Studios is back, it's a whole new location now. It's starting from scratch. So when I do those topics, Reddit reads, things like that again, it'll be there, and the link should be on this channel. But this is strictly movies. Moving forward, that's why it's been changed to at Talking to the Movies. And there's a new branch. We're going to be mostly on Twitch for T3 Game Realm, another channel that I'm working on with other content creators, like for example, Lana Marie. So for gaming content, T3 Game Realm. How that's on that, and also there's also separate podcasts. So there's a separate podcast for Talking to the Movies. If you're listening to us on the podcast, or if you haven't checked out the podcast, or if you prefer watching it on YouTube, but still go out on Spotify and Audible, Apple, and just hit the follow and just some comments here and there, just to show support, because we can need your help. And we also would love it if you're watching this on your phone, there's a new hype button. I don't know what it does. Push it anyway. Push it 5 times. Hype this up. All right. Whatever the hell it does, do that. I don't know what it does, but you're going to do that. And how this on that. Now, I was going to do a review to end the show off and talk about the 72-hour movie that me and my wife just saw on Netflix. And then all this crazy stuff happening. I don't have time. I gotta go get it. I gotta work in the morning. So unfortunately, that ain't happening. But that's the show. I'm calling it another tight 30, as always, right? As I always do on this show. But I appreciate your patience. I'm sorry again that I been fumbling the bag with the channel and haven't been putting out the content that you guys deserve. I will do better. Now that we've got I have been awash with inconsistencies. Let me get my footing. And no. What's the line? What is the line? What is the line? House of the Dragon, I have been a wash line or quote. What is it? Here we go. Here we go. Why is T3 Media Studios been struggle streaming lately and not putting out that much content? Here we go. I am a wash in dilemmas and deficiencies. Let me find my footing and I will attend to your requests. What she should have then said after that was, move the fuck out of the way, man. I'm going to move. I'm going upstairs. Move. Get out of my way. That's what I said. I'm a wash. Move. I like the way Renee was talking to everybody, the way she be yelling at Damon. She be like, when a prisoner, or the former queen be talking and stuff, man, okay, my daughter pregnant. Rhaenyra turns into old dude from Suits. What the hell did you just say to me? That's the energy she's giving every week. What the hell did you just say to me? Ain't you the one that got all my sons unalived? Messing with these dragons? Because you misinterpreted what your ex-husband, my father, dreamt up while he was high on opioids? You lucky I'll give you daylight. Man, that's oh man, I love that show. But as far as 72 hours, real quick, I'll say 72 hours, it reminded me of the old school template of a rom-com. It played like a rom-com. That situation where the jocks or whatever, the cool guy infiltrates the nerds or whatever, pretends to be them with the glasses on. Or there was those types of movies where they want to make them popular or pretends to like them and date them. They get to know them, starts liking and loving them for real. And then that bet gets revealed. Like, how could you do this to me? We're not friends anymore. And then now he's got to make this big grand gesture to, win their love back again or friendship back again. It played just like that. Because right on time, when you find out what Kevin Hart's real motivations was, it got discovered right at Act 3. And it was like, we're not friends anymore. It was like, old dude was right about you all along. And then Kevin Hart has to save the day and get back into the clique. It seemed like what people are calling a poor man's hangover attempt. There was a lot of similarities to that, especially with the whole Montana thing with the devil's nose candy thing. But there was a lot of funny moments in that movie. I laughed a lot. But is this the new Hangover? It can be, but only on a Netflix level. So if they're going to do a 72 hours sequel, I'm going to call it another 72 hours, just like Eddie Murphy's over, another 48 hours, you're going to call it another 72 hours, and the final 72 hours or whatever. Go ahead. The whole thing with the villains, old dude, from my boy Scorpion being the way his character was cool and ridiculous at the same time, if that makes sense. Just did not make sense how, what gangster will put their house up on an Airbnb knowing you doing all that illegal stuff. The plot, the motivation, the thing that got the plot going and stuff, and the reasons why they're in trouble was ridiculous. Gangsters would not act like that. Why? It's about keeping a low profile and whatnot. You making money. I'm not saying gangsters and drug dealers and stuff like that wouldn't have a side hustle like that, but you wouldn't put your stuff in there if they legit trying to make money. It don't make no sense. That the whole plot was dumb, in my opinion, but it worked. It was dumb fun, and it worked. But no, that's a little bit of how I felt about it. But I'm going to give a proper review of the movie. It was worth the watch. It's an acquired taste. One of the best Kevin Hart movies. The Cat Williams fight was funny as hell. I'll get that. It's worth the watching for watching that. And the tall redhead, the one of the I'm sorry, when he was with his original crew in SNL, because it's like mostly an SNL cast. When he was with his original crew in SNL, first, but I fast forwarded every time. It was so boring watching those short clips. But when he became a part of the main cast and the actual cast, he's been funny. I swear, to me, he was a throwaway actor. Um, but now that just him, but now he's crushing it. And honestly, the funniest parts of the movie was between what's his name? I'll tell you his name. What's his name? I'm gonna get his name right before I go to bed. 72, because I'm bad with names and I'm not doing this man justice. Ben Marshall, who played Hunter. The funniest parts of the movie was between Kevin Hart and Ben Marshall, and yeah, that movie could have just been them two. It could have been everything we saw just between them two, or mostly focused on it. I feel like he honestly should have been the groom. He should have been the groom, and still had most of the same lines and things that he did in the movie. He should have been the groom. But that's just me. That's how I see it. And or if they do another movie with this crew, it probably will be him. He will probably be the next one up to get married. I can see it because it should be more. I don't know. I just feel like they were trying to make it a Marcelo Hernandez Kevin Hart thing, which mostly it was. But I feel like Ben Marshall and Kevin have that reminded me of Blue Streak and Martin Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? That reminded me of something like that. There's something there. So, but I'll talk about it more when my wife is available and we'll get her perspective on it. So go out there, go check it out. Let me know what you guys think about it. Why no X-Men? We have in the chat from at Will You Hear. Why no X-Men? But at San Diego Comic-Con, I don't know. They should. They should. They should have talked more about the X-Men. I don't know why. They didn't. They weren't. I heard they weren't on stage that long either. They even started late. So I don't know. Gotta ask Kevin. That would have been the better thing to do. Make it a whole X-Men thing. Let's see what the plan is. And just map it all out. Something. Or maybe you have a Gambit movie. Ooh. Is it going to be Shannon Tatum? I don't know. Maybe, but probably not though. But they could have said something. But I don't know. Thanks for the question, though. Appreciate you, man. Before I dip, let me double check the other side of the stream, the horizontal. Is there anything else there? Well, here also says the glimpse of India's most expensive movies is already on YouTube under Rama Glimpse. The trailer dropped tomorrow. Give it a watch. Hans Zimmer composed the music. Okay. And he says they showed the trailer already at Comic-Con. Okay. All right, I'll give it a shot. Thanks for the tip, bro. All right, man. I'll holler at you guys on the 53rd. I appreciate you guys for this return of the all new, brand new talking through the movies here on the T3, well, the network for T3 Medias, your home for entertainment news and reviews by fans for fans. Holler at me if you want to talk movies. Follow us on all the socials. Hit that like button and subscribe button if you haven't already become a subscriber. And until next time, guys, hype us up, man. Let us know what you guys think. And peace. Let's see if it's an outro button.